Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Untitled Geek, continuing our kickoff of 2023 in the Geek Grand Championship. We've rebranded a little bit, changed some things, but it's still the same old Geek trivia place that you know and love. Apologize. I'm exhausted. I'm also your host, Thomas Scully. With me on the desk today is the one, the only Adelaide Spence. And Spence, look, we've talked about this before with debut matches. They're truly the most interesting looks we get into who players really are. We have a player like Jeremy who has been around some of the other trivia leagues before, and a lot of people know what he's made of. He's made a name for himself with pinheads, with Will Cohen. He's made a name for himself in singles in all these leagues. But he's going up against Moose Haas. Moose Haas also having some experience in other trivia realms, but this is his first foray into the Geek Grand Championship here at Untitled. So, what do you think we're going to see tonight?
I am actually very curious to how this is all going to go. That did not work. I want to see who Jeremy debuted against. But having seen Jeremy before, we know he has a lot of potential here. Moose, it's been a minute since we've seen him play, I think, anywhere. It's been 6, 7, 8 months. So I'm curious to see if that transfers over into the online sphere. But pinheads, I'm on the other side. That shit sucks. Jeremy is a player to look out for. So I am very curious how he holds up today in his second singles match.
Absolutely. So we'll see what these guys have to say right now in promos.
Well, it's been a while since I have competed in trivia, and I hope to give Jeremy a run for his money. He's catching me at a disadvantage as I have not had all of the time in the world to be able to study. However, that's no excuse, and a hurt moose is at its most dangerous when it's at its disadvantage. So I am very excited to be playing. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. I'm going to give him a run for his money. I'm probably going to win. Let's just be honest. But if I don't, it's fine because Jeremy is an awesome competitor, and everything I've heard about him is that the dude knows his stuff. So I'm excited to compete. I'm excited to fight. Again, I think that being at a disadvantage of not having to study means that a game like trivia, which is all about mental dexterity, comes into play. So this is all going to be muscle memory for me playing in this game, which I'm excited for, because then that's a true test of a champion, right? Is if we're able to pull it off without having to study up until game time. That being said, I'm pretty sure that the classic rock band Creedence Clearwater had it best. Jeremy, don't go out tonight. It's bound to take your life. There's a bad moose on the rise. 80% certain those are the lyrics.
I am also glad to be here, and I really like Moose's attitude coming into the league. He's very passive aggressive. He starts passive and gets aggressive, and that's cool. I dig it. So let's see if he's got his mental dexterity going. Let's do it.
All right. I love it. We have a lot of confidence coming from both players in the making their debut here in 2023. Moose going with the old classic rock motif, and I love it. And Jeremy, he's very straightforward. He doesn't like to say a whole lot. He likes to have his game speak for him, and there's nothing wrong with that either. So without further ado, let's get these guys right into it. Introducing first, making his debut in the Geek Grand Championship, we have Moose Haas.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. And his opponent with a record of no wins and 1 defeat in the Geek Grand Championship, Mr. Jeremy Potters.
Good luck, guys.
All righty, gentlemen. Round 1 works like this. You get 10 questions from 10 different categories in the realm of the Geek Grand Championship. You'll get 20 seconds to answer each and every question in round 1. If you get it right, you get a point. If you get it wrong, you get no points. If at the end of the round, one of you does get all 10 questions correct, you'll receive a bonus question worth an extra point. Also, gentlemen, you have 3 repeats and the use of a challenge throughout the duration of the match. Are there any questions before we hop into round number 1?
Nope.
All right. Then I'll get started with your first question in the category of the Wizarding World. In Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, what is the last thing Harry has to buy from Diagon Alley?
So, Skull, I have a question for you.
And Moose, if we could just have your hands and board on screen, please.
So, Scully, if these two were in a Creedence Clearwater cover band, Moose is the singer, I'm guessing Jeremy's on guitar. Who's on drums?
Not Thomas Nees, because he's in a Creed cover band.
Right. Yeah.
5, 4, 3,
Creed.
2,
and
1.
it's-
Pens down. We're going to start off with Jeremy.
Is that an owl?
And we'll go to Moose.
A wand.
Wand is correct. So Moose strikes first blood.
Next question comes in the category of Star Trek. Which Star Trek film features Scotty resigning from his position in the Enterprise? On the Enterprise. Whatever.
So we know how you feel about Scotty the character. What do you feel about a Scotty dog, like a little Scotty?
I want to punt you like a small dog.
Yeah, those are like the size is bothersome, but like the little Scottish Terriers aren't terrible.
If a dog can fit in a purse, it's a cat.
4, 3, 2,
Ron Swanson.
1. Pens down. It's actually a rat. Anyway, we'll go to Moose
Yep, it's Star Trek Into Darkness.
and Jeremy.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
That is correct. Jeremy is on the board. 2-1.
Also, I apologize. Again, I've been traveling, so I don't have a whiteboard. So my
Hey, look,
apologies for the
as long as the pen works and we can understand what you're writing, we don't really care. Question number 3 is going to be in everyone's favorite category of quotes. Which Marvel villain says the line, "I have been like a father to you, be a son to me now"?
I adore how, I'm guessing this is David, because I think I can read how he writes. He capitalizes son like it's a name, or like it's the son.
Or the film The Sun starring Hugh Jackman.
Oscar
That
nominee, it's
I'm
going to happen.
not even sure exists anymore because I haven't heard anything about it.
I thought, was it going to be Netflix? Oh, yeah. Jack Pinchuk is still going to watch it.
2, 1. Pens down. We're going to go to Jeremy
Oh, no, I said Dr. Octopus.
and Moose.
Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin.
Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. That is correct. Moose extends his lead.
Your fourth question comes in the category of DC. Who voices Superman in DC League of Super Pets? And Moose, we get the other hand up. Thank you.
Why do people enjoy this movie?
I have avoided it like the plague.
I think you would be in the same boat as me. Like
I am
you
the number
understand what
one.
it's doing, but you're just not having a good time.
I'm also the number one Teen Titans Go hater, I think, in this community. So I just have low expectations for like animated DC movies that aren't Lego.
I don't like Teen Titans Go to the movies either. 5, 4,
Awful.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. Moose
I don't know. Nick Cage.
and Jeremy.
I said John Krasinski.
John Krasinski is correct. Jeremy cuts into that lead. With that, we have no more perfect rounds. No more perfect rounds. All right, your next question is in Star Wars. In The Rise of Skywalker, Rose stays behind on the mission to Pisana because Leia wants her to study the specifications of what kind of ship. I just love how like the character is just built up over the course of a film and has like a heroic sacrifice, and then they're just never really seen or heard from again.
That's why I don't listen to Canadians who say this is better than The Last Jedi.
It's not, but to be honest, both of them are in the realm of good, not great.
That was a very specific jab.
Oh, there's a Canadian who I know.
Pens down. Pens down. We're going to go to Jeremy.
I don't know. I said a dreadnought.
Moose.
Old Star Destroyers.
That is correct. Star Destroyers.
Next question comes in Middle Earth. During Balin's tale, in an unexpected journey, how does Azog kill Thror? That is one of my least favorite names in all of Geek.
What,
Thror.
Azog? Oh, no, Thror.
It's just, it doesn't sound right at all.
It sounds like it sounds like a really old dwarf.
It sounds like you're stuttering through Thor, like through Thor, and like it gets caught.
As somebody who has a stutter, not really.
I have a stutter as well, so we are equal playing field.
Well, you realize the writers were drunk when they wrote the name, right? Like it was supposed to be,
I
something
believe
else,
that.
Like, roar.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Moose.
He decapitates him.
And Jeremy.
Decapitates.
Both correct. So 5-3 as we head into your next question, which is in mixed bag. The new and improved mixed bag. Who plays the main villain, Henry Carver, in Push? Push. I also like the sequel Shove, and the much maligned third film in the franchise, Pull.
It reminds me of my favorite episode of Glee, season 1, episode 2, where they all gather in the auditorium
No, stop.
to push it.
Stop. Please stop. Please.
I don't know. Pull has its moments.
Yeah. Once fully push it real good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We're gonna go to Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't remember. I said Michael Shannon.
And Moose.
Jaimin Hansu?
Jaimin Hansu is correct. So
I can remember 3 actors from that movie, and he was one of them. So,
Your anti-penultimate question comes in the category of Marvel. In Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, who is the first member of the team Johnny exchanges powers with?
This movie's not great. Like it's way too short for what it tries to do, but it's fun.
I haven't seen it since I was like 8,
Oh,
but
that
it's
means-
probably
Maybe we should fix that.
I probably like it more than the first one because the first one is mid at
This
best.
one's great. Stop it. This one's great.
I like it less than almost every X-Men film.
2, 1. Wow. Pens down. We're gonna go to Moose.
I think it's Sue Storm.
And Jeremy.
Sue Storm.
Sue Storm is correct. Now we head to your penultimate question, which is an MCU. In Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, what item of Sean's do the bad guys want to steal during the bus fight?
So, Scully, let's say you watched this in the theater and you fell asleep for like 30 minutes. Would you still give it 4.5 stars?
No, I would say that I remembered what the beginning of the third act was, and then in my review, I would pretend to know what I'm talking about, and then bump it up a 0.5 star rating on my second rewatch when I was fully awake. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Jeremy
His necklace.
and Moose.
This is the best movie of Phase 4, and he took his necklace.
All right, I can respect that take. I'll be honest. That both correct.
And your last question comes in the category of sci-fi killers. In Alien 3, why does Ripley say she knows the xenomorphs won't attack her? Bit of a hot take. Not the worst Alien film.
Well, are we including the verses?
I think
Because if we are, then obviously.
I
but if
think
we're just
Resurrection and
going
that
to
are
main
like
four, it is
real
the worst.
close.
No comment.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Let's go to Moose.
She has an alien in her. I think it's actually an alien queen.
And Jeremy.
Yeah, I said there's one inside her.
We can accept both. She's carrying an alien. There's one inside her. We'll accept that. So at the end of round 1, Moose with a very impressive round 1 with 9 points. Jeremy not far behind with 6. 9 to 6. Into round number 2. Round 2 works like this. There were 3 categories randomly selected from our randomizer. Those categories today being MCU, Star Trek, and sci-fi killers. The player in the lead will choose if they want to choose their category first or second, and then choose which category they would like to take. The second player will then choose between the remaining 2 categories, with the final category being moved on into round number 3. Each category corresponds to 5 questions worth 2 points apiece, with the option to go down to 1 point in multiple choice. And gentlemen, there is stealing involved, so keep those heads on a swivel and watch out. So, Moose, because you are in the lead, do you want to choose your category first, or do you want to defer to Jeremy?
I'll defer.
Defer your choice to Jeremy? All right, Jeremy, you can now choose between MCU, Star Trek, or sci-fi killers.
I'll take MCU.
You will take MCU. And Moose, you can now choose between Star Trek and sci-fi killers.
I'm going to go with Star Trek.
All righty. And Moose, do you want to go first, or do you want to defer to Jeremy?
I'll go first.
Want to go first? All right. So, Moose, I will go ahead and give you your questions in the category of Star Trek. Are you ready?
Yep.
All righty.
Before we start, could you get your other hand up as well? Thank you.
All righty. Your first question.
Pull this down so I can get my hands.
First question. Chekhov has the rank of first officer of a starship in which Star Trek film?
Multiple choice.
Okay. Your options are A, The Wrath of Khan, B, The Undiscovered Country, C, Into Darkness, or D, The Final Frontier.
Wrath of Khan.
That is correct for 1 point.
Yeah.
All right, your next question. How many Star Trek films were composed by Dennis McCarthy?
Just Star Trek Generations. 1.
That is correct for 2 points. Your third question. What is the name of the Klingon moon that explodes in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country?
Oh, is it Praxis?
That is correct for 2 big points. Your fourth question. In Star Trek Nemesis, which member of the Enterprise crew asks to be relieved of duty?
Star Trek Nemesis. Let me get multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, Data, B, Geordi, C, Riker, or D, Troy.
I think it's Troy.
You would be correct. That is correct for 1 more point. And your final question. Paradise City is the capital of which planet in The Final Frontier?
Nimbus 3.
That is correct for a clean sweep. 8 points in that round. Getting them all correct. So Moose now has a total of 17 to Jeremy's 6. So, Spence, why don't you go ahead and give Jeremy his questions in the category of the MCU.
All right, Jeremy, your first question, the MCU. What MCU movie features the main character foiling an exchange at a casino?
Black Panther.
Correct, 2 points.
Nice.
How many MCU movies has Henry Jackman composed?
Give me multiple choice.
All right. Options are A0, B1, C2, or D3.
I'll say C2.
That is correct for 1 point.
Nice.
In Ant-Man, what does Luis say he was able to do when fighting Peachy in prison?
He was the only one to knock him out.
That is correct for 2 points.
So good.
In Spider-Man No Way Home, why did Norman Osborn say he walked into Aunt May's business?
Multiple choice.
All right. Options are A, he saw a picture of Spider-Man. B, he smelled food. C, he heard they could help homeless people. Or D, a voice in his head told him to.
I'll say A.
That is correct for 1 point.
Hmm.
And your final question. Who is the first person other than Thor we see holding Mjolnir in the MCU?
Odin.
That is correct for 2 points.
Yeah, well done.
You almost got me. I almost said Vision. And I was like,
All right. So at the end of round number 2, Moose, that same 3-point advantage he had at the end of round 1, 17-14. So now we head to round number 3, which works like this. Our first 2 categories were chosen for round 2, leaving the last category, sci-fi killers, for round 3. Player in the lead will choose if they want to take set 1 or set 2. Each player will get a 2, a 3, and a 5. And we play until somebody is mathematically eliminated. Both players have all 3 of their repeats and their challenge remaining. All right, so gentlemen, any questions before we head into round number 3?
Nope.
All righty. Moose, you are in the lead. Do you want us to have choose set 1 or set 2?
I'll do set 2.
2? All righty. So Spence, why don't you go ahead and give Jeremy his questions from set number 1.
All right, Jeremy, your 2-point question. Who played Kane, the first crew member to get a face hugger attached to him in Alien?
John Hurt.
2 points. Sticking with you for your 3-point question. Which sci-fi killer's movie features a predator getting their arm cut off by their own razor wheel?
Alien versus Predator.
That is incorrect. Looking for Predator 2.
Predator 2. Yeah.
All right, so this is where we stand. 17-16. Jeremy needs to hit his 5 to bounce it back to Moose. If he hits it, we go to Moose. If he misses it, Moose will get his first victory in the Geek Grand Championship.
All right.
Good luck,
Jeremy.
buddy. You got this, Jeremy.
Thanks, man.
All right, Jeremy, your 5-point question. In Terminator Salvation, when Marcus is fighting the T-800, the T-800 identifies a weakness in Marcus. What specifically does he do What specifically does he do after to knock Marcus down?
Can I get a repeat?
Yep, first repeat. In Terminator Salvation, when Marcus is fighting the T-800 identifies a weakness in Marcus. What specifically does he do after to knock Marcus down?
Five, 4, 3.
Give me one more, please.
All right, so I'm going to repeat. In Terminator Salvation, when Marcus is fighting the T-800 identifies a weakness in Marcus. What specifically does he do after to knock Marcus down?
I'll say he punches him in the heart.
For 5 points.
Yep. Nice. Good pull. Good pull,
What
Jeremy.
a pull. Look, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, we've had a lot of incredible pulls just from the last several weeks alone here, Geek Grand Championship. This is one of the gutsier ones.
Well done.
From the depth to take the lead against Moose. Moose will now have to answer his questions from set number 2. So, Moose, here comes your 2-pointer in set 2. Who played Kyle Reese in Terminator Genysis?
Oh, Jai Courtney.
Correct, 2 points. All right, so Moose can win it with his 3-pointer. He can hit his Thror as 5. So, Moose, here is your 3-pointer. Which sci-fi killer's film features 2 people blowing themselves up with a grenade inside a vent?
Aliens.
And your winner, Moose Haas. It was indeed Aliens. What a fantastic match we have here to kick off Geek Grand Championship singles here in 2023. Down right to the wire, back and forth for a while there in round 3. We're going to head out into our post-match interview, starting with our unfortunate loser today, Jeremy. Look, man, you played really, really well. I mean, for somebody who maybe hasn't studied in a while, hasn't been prepping as hard, you rallied really well after being down 3 in round 1, kept the same deficit up in round 2, went 8 for 10 in MCU, and then you had a hell of a pull for that 5-pointer. So you shouldn't hang your head too much. It was a great performance. So how you feeling?
I feel good. I went a little too quick on the 3-pointer. As soon as I said Alien versus Predator, I saw Danny Glover flash in my head and went, shit. No, Predator 2. But other than that, yeah, missed a couple in round 1. I picked one over the other, the 50-50 in your head, and you go the wrong way. Thing, it happens. But I feel good. I didn't get TKO'd. I'll be back. And Moose has obviously not lost anything. So travel, not studying, whatever. Nobody buy it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, look, yes, you're now 0-2 in singles, and it does put you a little bit further down on the pipeline.
Sure.
But not only that, but you also teaming up with Will Cohen, Pinheads, is that still a thing?
Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah, we're here all year, buddy.
Awesome. Look, man, we can't wait to see you play again in singles and in teams. We'll be in touch, and hopefully we can get you back in here soon.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All righty. Head out to our winner today, Moose Haas. Look, man, you said you hadn't studied in a while, the travel, all that stuff, and then you go ahead and you put up 9 points in round 2. You played safe a little bit in Star Trek, but it was the right call. You got 8 points. You did exactly what you needed to do, which was to keep that 3-point deficit. And then even with Jeremy's poll, you had what it takes to pull out the win. So how you feeling?
Good. First off, I just want to give kudos to Jeremy. 1, that was a hell of a game. That was a lot of fun, man. And 2, your poll, that 5-point poll, the way that the question was worded was kind of tricky. So to be able to pull that out, that was awesome, man. So kudos to Jeremy. That was awesome. And I hope our paths cross down the line. But no, this was fun. I had a good time. It feel good that I haven't lost a step for not really having a chance. Not seeing Super Pets. I think that's the only question I missed tonight. Not sure if that's on my radar of movies to immediately drop what I'm doing and watch, but still, I had a great time doing this, guys, and I'm so appreciative of you guys having me in your league.
Well, it's our pleasure. So what is next for you? Well, what is next is going to be another match in singles in this little road to the eventual road to the title that we have. You'll be playing one of our resident Canadians, Jack Pinchuk. Jack having a really strong 2022. Hopefully he can kick off 2023 well against you, but it looks like you guys have some other plans in store.
Bring it on, Jackie boy. Let's go, dude.
All right.
You
Loving the
hoser.
confidence. Loving the loving the confidence. Well, Moose, we can't wait to see you back here soon.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
All righty, Spence, let's wrap this one up in a bow. Any final thoughts on the match?
Moose. It's a very pretty moose. You got the boy moose go. Wah!
Wow.
That's all I got. It's a good match. Yeah, I think both players really showed up today. I think Jeremy coming in with that 0-1 might have a bit of pressure on him, but I think he overcame those expectations, even with another loss on his record today. I still think he's probably one of our most dangerous 0-2 players out there. And
yeah, it's one of those matches where the guy with the 0-1 record doesn't play like the guy with the 0-1 record. He played like the guy with a 3-1 record. We've had players with positive records who put out stinkers like half as good as this performance today. So with another opportunity in singles, I think Jeremy can find his way back into title contention at some point. And with him and Will as pinheads, I'm not saying they're going to be challenging for belts or anything, but that is a team I think you need to watch out for. Jeremy and Will, pinheads, that's a team we're going to have – every team is going to have to watch out for in 2023. I'm going to put my money on that one right now.
I think there's some real losers here with positive records, like Thomas Scully, David Garcia, people who have no aspirations. I think Jeremy and Moose can top both of them this season.
Okay, well, hey, have you seen me in the last few months? I have no aspirations in trivia whatsoever. Anywho, this is another end to another exciting Geek Grand Championship match. This is just the start. 2023 is going to be absolutely insane. Please go out and watch trios. We have our triple threat contenders match out. We have title matches down the pipeline. We have a lot of really exciting stuff, not just in singles, but in teams as well. This is going to be the biggest year of the Geek Grand Championship yet, and it's all thanks to you all at home who watch the matches, who like, subscribe, share it out all over the internet to post with your friends. And hey, if you think you can hang with these guys, come on in. We're always welcoming new people. So for myself,
fine.
the water's fine. So from myself, from Spence, from Jeremy, and from Moose, this has been the Geek Grand Championship, guys. And as always, stay cool.